So yesterday we have seen data types, that is character, varchar2, date, number, large object, and from that large object, again there are two subcategories like character large object and then binary. So this is one of the what we call it validation, which is mandatory. So we can validate the data in two steps, in two ways. The first way is using data types, and the second way is using constraints. So yesterday we have seen with the data types, now we'll check with what is constraint. So constraints are nothing but the rules given to validate the data. I'll repeat, constraints are the rules given to validate the data or the columns. See, we know that we will be storing the data or any information in table, that is in the form of which are in the form of rows and columns. So we will store all those information in the columns. Now, whatever the information we have stored in the columns, we have to cross check it once again. We have to cross check it. So constraints are nothing but it is the rules given to validate the data or validate the columns. And same as the previous one, data types, we have 5 types of constraints. 5 types of constraints: unique, not null, check, primary key, and foreign key. I'll repeat. We have 5 types of constraints: unique constraint, not null, check, primary key, and foreign key. Any idea what is unique? Unique? Any idea what is unique? Any answer? I'm audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Any idea what is unique? Unique.
It will not allow duplicates.
Exactly. So unique is nothing but the values without any duplicates. Or
Ram, can you be little louder?
one second. Now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll do it from the first then. So constraints are nothing but it is the rules given to validate the data or validate the columns. So we have 5 types of constraints: unique, not null, check, primary key, and foreign key. So unique says it is a constraints which cannot accept repeated or duplicated values. So I'll repeat, unique is nothing but unique. So here in this session, each and every person's name is unique. There is no repetition. In the same way, whatever the data we are storing in the column, those information should also be unique, which means there should be no duplicates. For example, if I'm trying to store my phone number, if I store my phone number once and maybe by mistake, I might store the same phone number again. It should not happen. So I'll check it whether do we have any duplicates or not. So that's called as unique constraint. And the second one, not null. So not null is nothing but it is a constraint which cannot accept null values. See, once again, see, constraints are nothing but it is a rules given to validate the column. Because so why we should validate this one? As we have seen yesterday, each and every table will be having a leader. I think maybe last class or before that last class, I have told you like each and every table will be having a leader. So if I want to return the data from all those multiple tables, we should connect the leaders of that particular table. There are different tables. There will be different tables, and each tables will be having a leader. And if we connect all those leaders from all different tables, then at a time we can retrieve the data. So these are the constraints which we are using to select a leader. So the first one is unique, which cannot accept duplicated or repeated values. Not null. What is not null? Not null. Any answer? What is not null? Not null. This is a table.
It shows that it doesn't have.
So table 1, so cell 1, cell 2, 3, and 4. So here I'll store some data like text, and here I'll store some data like PDF or photo, and here I'll store some data like number. So cell 1 is not empty, not null. It's not null. Something is there. Cell 2 also, something is there. Cell 3 also, something is there. What about this one? Cell 4? It is null. So null is nothing but empty. Empty. If it is not null, not empty. Not empty. Which means if it is not null constraint, all the cells should be filled with any one of the value. If it is not null, you'll understand it little later. Then check. Check is nothing but, see from the first. 1 second.
Hello.
So unique, no duplicates, not null, no empty values. Check. Check constraint says it is an extra validation assigned to the column with a condition. So I'll repeat again. Check constraint says it is an extra validation assigned to the column with a condition. If the condition is satisfied, it returns true. If the condition is satisfied, it returns true, which means it gives the output. 1 second, I'll show this one. Check. So consider I'm having a table here, and I'm having different columns. And here I'll be having a column like phone number. This column is phone number. So I'll be having hardly hundreds of numbers, thousands of numbers, not even 100. 1000. So this is number 1 and this is number 1000. So now I want to check that whether the phone numbers which are entered into these cells are exactly 10 or not. So what I'll do, I should check with each and every cell, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. I cannot keep on count all the cells. It will take a lot of time. So what I'll do, I'll use a constraint. I'll use a constraint, and that is check constraint. So how can I use that? Check length, the column name, and size. Check length, the column name, and size. So what I'll do here, I'll use the syntax check length, phone number length 10, column name, whatever the column name we have, phone number, size 10 again, semicolon. So what happens? These check constraint will jump into the phone number column, and within fraction of seconds, it will count all the cells, whether it has exactly 10 digits phone number or not. Whichever the cell that has 9 numbers or 11 numbers or any number which is greater than 10 or less than 10. The cells which has numbers less than 10 or more than 10, for example, this cell has number 9. So the cells which are having 9 numbers, those cells will be or 10. So all those cells will be reflected separately, saying that these are the numbers or these are the cells which has 9 numbers and which has 11 numbers. So what I should do? I have to contact that particular person and ask them again, what is your valid contact number? So I'll take the information from them and again I'll update it. So I'll fill the correct phone number. I'll fill the correct phone number. Again, I'll update. So now it was 9 and it will become 10. So again, I'll cross check length 10, phone number, column name, phone number, and the size is 10. Again, this check constraint will jump into phone number column and it will count all the 1,000 cells within a fraction of seconds. And again, if any cells found with the number which is less than 10 or greater than 10, again, those cells will be reflected separately. So we have to update it again. So that is check. So we can use this check constraint only on the columns which are having constant values, like what we call it, yes, employee number, it is constant, employee number, then Aadhaar card number, ration card, PAN card, driving license. So whichever the columns, whichever the values that are constant for everyone, to those columns we can check. We cannot apply check on the name because each and every person's name is different. Somebody will be having 2 letters, 3 letters, 4 letters, 5 letters, n number of letters. So I cannot apply check constraint on name. We can just remember, they might ask you a question, in which columns can we apply check constraint? There is no particular column like we should apply on this one, but we can answer that the columns which are having same digit, like constant values, like phone number, Aadhaar card, PAN card, ration card, or like what is this one, vehicle registration number, passport. So different columns which has same numbers, same constant. Everyone will be having the same numbers. So employee number, on those numbers, on those columns, EMP number. So on those columns, we can use check constraint just to check whether the entered values are valid or not. So that is check. Check it, extra validation assigned to the column with the condition. So if the condition is satisfied, it returns true. The syntax, check length of column name, size. So check length is 12 and that is column name Aadhaar card. If it is Aadhaar card, the length will be 12 and size will also be 12. If it is phone number, length is 10 and the size is also 10. So these check constraint will jump into Aadhaar card number, Aadhaar card column, and will count all the cells which has Aadhaar card number and will count whether those cells are having 12 numbers or more than 12 numbers or less than 12 numbers. If it is 12, that's okay. If it is less than 12 or greater than 12, those cells will be reflected separately, saying that these are the cells which are having more than 12 and less than 12. So we have to update them by contacting the respective persons. Is it clear till here? Did you understand check?
Yes, sir.
Asif, Shravani, Rajdeep, Teja, Shravani, Venkatesh. Is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Then coming to primary key. Primary key. Any idea what is primary key? Primary key. So it says it is a constraint which is uniquely identifies the record from the table. It is a constraint. Primary key is a constraint which is uniquely identifies the records from the table. If I tell this with the practical example, see, we have a family, like siblings, mom, dad, everyone. If I walk in my street or in my native, many of the people might not be knowing me. Then somebody will ask, who is that guy? Even though they know my name, they'll tell he is the son of such a person. She is the daughter of such a person. So, which means here, father acts like a constraint which is uniquely identified by the records. So family, we have entire family. Each and every person has different names and different relationship, but still all those family is identified by one person, and that person is a father. So because he is a leader of that family. So he represents each and every person in the family, In the same way, a table will be having a leader, primary key. We will be having a table, and from that table, we will be having different number of columns. And from that different number of columns, there will be a one column who can represent the entire table, which means if I use that particular column, I can get the entire details of the table. One column, entire details of the table. So that is primary key, a leader of the family. In the same way, a leader of the table, it is a constraint which is uniquely identifies the records from the table. So if I want to get any records from the table, I should ask the leader. So I'll ask the leader, I want these record from your table, and I should contact that leader, and it is also called as primary key. And how can we identify that who is the leader? Any idea? If a table, so we have just discussed that each and every table will be having a leader, but how can we identify which which column is a leader? Any idea? I'll repeat. Each and every table will be having a leader, and how can we identify this is the column which is leader? Any idea? So we'll see. If a column wants to become a leader, I'll repeat, from any table, any column wants to become a leader, there are some characteristics. There are some characteristics to become a primary key, to become a leader of the table. And the first one is primary key cannot accept duplicated or repeated values. So whichever column wants to become a leader, that column should not have repeated values. All the values should be unique. And primary key cannot accept null values, which means whichever column wants to become a leader or primary key, that column should not have null values. Empty values should not be there. One or the other value should be filled. So, which means primary key is a combination of unique and not null constraints. So if any column wants to become a leader, it should be the combination of unique and not null constraint, which means all the values should be unique without any repetition or without any duplicates, and all the values, all the cells should be filled. There should be no empty cell. So whichever column has these two constraints, that column can become a leader. I'll repeat. Primary key is a combination of unique and not null constraint. So we know that unique is nothing but no repetition or no duplicates. Not null is nothing but no null value. There should be one or the other value. It should be filled with any one of the value. So whichever the column that has unique values without repetition and no null values, there should be some values, and those values should be not repeated. That column can become a leader. And the table can only accept one column as a primary key. That means one table, one leader. I'll repeat, the table can only accept one column as a primary key. That means a table will only accept one leader in the table. One family, one leader. And it is not mandatory, but still it is highly recommended. So selecting the leader from the table is not mandatory, but still it is highly recommended. It's like a CR in the class. It's not required, but still it is recommended, because CR will be doing the things which we cannot do it. He'll be getting some information, updation, everything from the faculties or management. So it is necessary. So it is mandatory. It's not mandatory, but it is recommended to have a CR in the class. In the same way, primary key is not mandatory, but it is highly recommended, so that we can get some information very easily. So you have to remember these two especially. Yeah, which one? This one and this one. So primary key is a combination of unique and not null constraint, which means any column wants to become a leader. The column should have two characteristics mainly. It should not have repeated values, and it should not have empty values. Whichever column has these two characteristics, that column can become a leader, and only one column can become a leader, any one. And we'll see how to do it. Then foreign key. Any idea what is foreign key? If it is primary key, leader from the same family. So in my family, my father is leader. In my friend's family, his father is leader, which means foreign key is nothing but it is a constraint which is used to establish the connection between two tables. Establish the connection between two tables. So the same example which I've said yesterday, I think not yesterday, last time. It's me and it's my girlfriend. If I want to get married, I should talk to my father first, and she should speak to her father. Then her father and my father, they both will talk. They both will decide whether to get us married or not. So for me, her father is foreign key. For her, my father is foreign key, which means leader of some other table. So this is for me, this is me, and this is my father. For me, my father is primary key. For her, her father is primary key. But for me, her father is foreign key because some other family, some other person, some other table. So some other leader. In the same way, for her, my father is a foreign key because for her, this is some different family, different leader, and different foreign key. In the same way, here, foreign key is nothing but it is a constraint which is used to establish the connection between two tables. Connection between two tables. 1 second. So table 1, table 2. So what I'll do, this is some employee name, E name, this column, and this is also E name. Now what I want the all the employees numbers, all the employees name from table 1 and table 2, both. I want all the name of employees from both the tables. So what I should do, I should join these two tables first. I should connect these two tables first. So there will be a leader from these table and also from these table. So I should connect these two leaders and they will decide whether to send the information or not. So that can be done with the help of foreign key. Foreign key. So for these table, for table 1, table 2 is a foreign key. Once again. So for table 1, here we will be having any one column as a foreign key, primary key. Consider this first column is primary key. And here also the last column will be primary key for individual table. But for these table, for table 1, this one is a foreign key. And for this table 2, this column is foreign key. If it is individual table, we can consider this column as primary key, leader of the same family. If it is some other table, we can consider that primary key as foreign key. Are you understanding what I'm telling? Everyone? Anita and team? Are you understanding what I'm telling with respect to foreign key and primary key?
Yes, sir.
Sultan? So, not Sultan. Salman? Sindhu? Mani? Venkatesh, Harshita, Deekshita,
Yes, sir.
Lata,
Yes.
Raj, Deep. Is it clear so far?
Yes, sir.
Sure. That's what foreign key is nothing but it is a constraint which is used to establish the connection between two tables. Because if I want to retrieve the data from multiple tables at a time, with the help of foreign key, I should join these two tables and get the information from both the tables at a time. And if a column wants to become a foreign key, there are some again characteristics. So if the same table, same family, same table, if any column wants to become a primary key, these are the characteristics we should have. With respect to foreign key, whichever column wants to become a foreign key in the second table, some other table, from that table, if any column wants to become a foreign key, there are some characteristics. The first one, so characteristics of foreign key. This can accept duplicated or repeated values. Foreign key. If it is primary key, no duplicates, no repeated. If it is foreign key, duplicate also accepted, repeated also accepted. So here, it will also accept null values. With respect to primary key, no null values. It should not accept null values. But here in foreign key, it can accept, which means foreign key is completely opposite to primary key. Whatever the characteristics we have discussed with primary key are also opposite to foreign key. So here, primary key cannot accept duplicated or repeated values, but here it can accept duplicated or repeated values. Here, primary key cannot accept null values, and here it can also accept null values. So here, primary key is a combination of unique and not null constraint, but here it is not a combination of unique and not null constraint. So here, table can accept only one column as a primary key, but here table can accept more than one column as a primary key. Oh, sorry, foreign key. Any number of column can become foreign key. But so if any column wants to become a foreign key, there is a main rule. If a column wants to become a foreign key, it is mandatory for primary key to be on its own table. I'll repeat. If from the second table, foreign table, from that foreign table, if any column wants to become a leader, it is mandatory for primary key to be on its own table. You will not understand this line. You will understand this with practicals. I'll just do it within a few moments. The foreign key present in child table, but it belongs to parent table. Foreign key is also called as a referential integrity constraint. So you have to remember this line. You might get a question. What do you mean by referential integrity constraint? I'll repeat. You might get a question. What do you mean by referential integrity constraint? Then you should answer same. It is a constraint which is used to establish the connection between two tables, because referential. What is referential? Referring two tables. Integrity. What is integrity? Connecting those two tables with a reference. The reference is foreign key and primary key. With the help of foreign key and primary key, we are integrating those two tables to get the information. So they might ask, they'll not ask this one. They will not ask what is foreign key, because it is very simple that you can answer. They'll ask, what do you mean by referential integrity constraint or referential constraint? Both are same. Referential integrity constraint or referential constraint. So you should answer this one. Don't forget. So I'll explain these last three lines once again. If a column wants to become a foreign key, it is mandatory for primary key to be on its own table. Foreign key present in child table, but it belongs to parent table. Foreign key is also called as referential integrity constraint. So all about these primary key and foreign key is, if it is primary key, from the table one, first table, first leader, and these are the characteristics. I can also say it is a main table. Main table. We will be having different tables, and from those different tables, we can consider any one table as a main table. And from that main table, we have to choose a leader. To choose that leader, we should follow these rules. So whichever column has succeeded with these characteristics, that column can become a leader. So you have to remember this line. Primary key is a combination of unique and not null constraint, which means whichever column wants to become a leader, that column should be the combination of unique and not null constraint. Now we see how can we choose the leader from different tables. Beta. Yes, here it is. So you have to pay attention, or else you will not understand. So consider, is it visible clearly? Everyone, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So consider we have two tables. from the database, from the SQL database, we have two tables. The first table is employee table and the second table is department table. So from this employee table, I should choose a leader. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From this example, this is just an example, it's not true. From this employee table, consider these two tables are example. But we have the same tables. We have same employee table, we have same department table in the database. I'll explain here now, then I'll explain practically with the real tables. So from this employee table, I should choose any one column as a leader. Which column can I choose? Any answer? Which column can I choose? Any one? Any answer?
Employee number. Employee number.
How come? Yes, I'll tell how.
It's a unique.
Yes. So we have just read that if any, so primary key from the main table, from the first table, if any column wants to become a leader, it should be the combination of unique and not null constraint. So what is unique? Without repetition, without duplicate. What is not null? Without any empty values. So whichever column has unique values and whichever column has some values without empty values, that column can become a leader. So now we'll check with the first column. So employee number. And we know that primary key is a combination of unique and not null constraint. I repeat, primary key is a combination of unique and not null constraint. Coming to the employee number, first column. Is there any duplicate values here? Any duplicate values? Yes. From the employee number column, do we have any duplicates?
No.
No.
Yes, because each and every value is unique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these employee number column is satisfied with unique. No, next column, next constraint. So I'll repeat. The first column is satisfied with unique constraint, which means it has no duplicates. Then we have the second constraint, that is not null. Do we have any null values here in the first column? Empty values?
No.
Just check once again. Do we have any empty values from column 1? Empty. Khali. Any empty values? Sindhu and team? See, you have to answer, or else I cannot move from here. Do we
No.
have any empty values from the column 1? Anita, Diksha, Girish, Harshita, Lata, Rajdeep, Sindhu?
No.
Yes. So from the column 1, there is no repetition. So it is satisfied with unique constraint, and there is no null values. So it is also satisfied with not null. So whichever column is satisfied with unique constraint and not null constraint, that column can become leader. So as of now, the first column is satisfied with both unique constraint because it doesn't have any repetition, and it is also satisfied with not null because there is no null values here. So these column can become a leader. It is having the eligibility to become a leader, but still we have to check with the remaining as well. So let it be. Just keep it aside. Then coming to employee name, is there any repeated values? Repeated.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is not unique. So G repeated, A repeated. It is not satisfied with unique because it has repeated values and duplicate values. Is there any null values here? Null. Empty values?
No.
No. So this second column is just satisfied with not null constraint. But if any column wants to become a leader, it should satisfy with both unique and not null constraint. Even if one constraint is not satisfied, that column is not eligible to become a leader. So we can skip this E name because it has repetition. What about salary? Is there any repetition?
No.
There is no repetition. Is there any null values?
Yes.
Yes, here we have null. So it is just satisfied with unique. And of course, salaries might be same. If you are working in the same company, my salary might be same, even your salary might be same. So we cannot consider this salary as unique. There will be duplicates. And of course, there are some people who will be left with the job, so their salary will be null. So this is also not satisfied. So I'll eliminate name and salary. Coming to phone number. Do we will be having any duplicate numbers? See,
No.
we are 50 people here. Each and
No.
everyone has different phone numbers. There will be no duplicates. So this phone number column will be it is satisfied with unique. Is there any empty values in the cell? Empty.
No.
So again, this phone number column is satisfied with unique and not null. So this phone number column is also eligible to become a leader, which means from the two tables, sorry, from the table one, we have two leaders who has eligibility to become a leader. The first one employee number and the second one is phone number. Let it be. We'll check with the second last one. Department number. Any duplicates? Duplicate?
Yes.
Department number 10, department number 10, duplicate. So it is not satisfied. Any null values? Yes, we have null values. So it is not satisfied. Even these department number is eliminated. So we just have two columns which are fighting to become a leader. Now, which column can we consider as leader? Based on the advantage.
First and third.
No. But you have to remember one line. The table can only accept one column as a primary key. Here we have two columns, but we have to choose any one, just one. Which one is that? Which one can be that? Based on the advantages, it is better to choose employee number, because once if I join any company and I'll be working for 10 years there, for those 10 years, my employee number will be same. And in the same 10 years, I would have changed my number multiple times. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
So I cannot consider this phone number as leader, because there are some chances that we might lose our phone and we might change our phone number and many other disadvantages. But if I choose this employee number as a leader, it will be fixed, which means if, for example, if I choose this phone number, I might get optimum information about the employee. So I'll just go to any company, I'll give you the phone number. So this is the phone number of your employee in your company. Please give me some details. What they'll do, they'll just enter it and they might not get the maximum information. Might be they might get name, that's it. If I give this phone number to any of the employee to find their details, I might just get their name, age, that's it. I mean, hardly 1 or 2, 3 hour information. But if I give the employee number, I'll ask somebody else to just check with the employee number and I want their details. So if I give this employee number, whatever his joining date, login time, logout time, his salary, Gmail address, age, phone number, each and every location, address, everything will be traced easily. So all the information of that particular employee can be retrieved within a short span of time. And that's why, based on the advantages, considering employee number as a foreign key, as a leader of the table, that is primary key. Did you understand how to choose the leader of the table? So if any column wants to become a leader, it should be the combination of unique and not constraint, which means the column should not have repeated values and the column should not have empty values. So whichever column does not have repeated values and does not have empty values, that column can become a leader. Did you understand this one? Foreign primary key? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Should I explain this primary key once again? Anyone? Venkatesh? Tangi? Is it clear, everyone, with the primary key? Say yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Done? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then coming to foreign key. So the first table, whichever we will be considering, it will be called as parent table, parent. And the second table, which is second, third, fourth, any number of tables we will be getting, those tables will be child. So consider this is the employee table, parent table. And the second table, child table. And the third table, still child. So whatever the number of tables we will be getting, and all those tables will be child of employee table. So the first table will always be parent, and the next whichever table we will be getting, all those tables will be child. Now coming to the child table. we have read that from the child table, any column can be selected as foreign key. There is no there is no rules like the foreign key should be unique, not null. No, it can also accept duplicated values, repeated values. It is not a combination of unique or not null constraint. The table can choose multiple foreign keys. So, but here, with respect to primary key, the table can only choose or accept only one column as a primary key. But here, the table can accept more than one column as a foreign key. So, column 1, 2, 3, all the columns can also become a foreign key. But from the child table, whichever column wants to become a foreign key, it is mandatory for primary key to be on its own table, which means from the child table, we can choose any one column as a foreign key. Sorry, from the child table, we can choose all the columns. This department number also can be chosen as foreign key. DNAME also chosen as a foreign key. Location also can be chosen as a foreign key. But I should ensure that if I want to choose any column as a foreign key, the same column name should be present in the employee table. That means the same column name should be present in the this one primary table. I'll repeat. From the child table, if I want to choose any column as a leader, that means if any column as a foreign key, the same column name should be present in primary key table. So, can I choose location as a foreign key? See, I'll repeat once again. Listen carefully. From the child table, I can choose any column as a foreign key. But if I want to choose any column as a foreign key from the child table, the same column name should be present in primary key table. So if I choose this location as a foreign key, I cannot choose it because I should also have the same column in primary key table. Whichever column I want to choose as a foreign key, the same column should be present in the primary key table. So here I'm having location. If I choose this one as location as a foreign key, I cannot choose it because I don't have location column in primary table. Can I choose department name, DNAME? Can I choose department name as foreign key? Any answer?
No.
How come
No.
no? Why? Because
Department name is not
In
there in.
parent table.
Yes, if I want to choose this department name as foreign key, the same column name should be present in parent table. But I don't have department name also. So I can ignore the location also. I can ignore the department name also. Now I'm having one last column, department number. So this is not PK, this is FK. I have written it wrong. This is FK and this is PK. So can I choose this department as a foreign key? Can I choose this department number as foreign key?
Yes.
How come?
Yes.
Why? Because we have the same common column in the same primary table. So from the child table, if I want to choose any column as a foreign key, the same column should also be present in primary key. So this is a column which I can choose as a foreign key because the same department number column is also present in primary key. So this is child table and this is parent table. And if I want to retrieve the data from both, I want all the details. So employee number, employee name, salary, phone number, department name, location. I want all. If I want to retrieve all the information from both the table, I should connect these two. Foreign key table, department number, sorry, primary key, department number, foreign key, department number. So you'll understand this, how to join this one in the upcoming classes, either from subqueries, set operators, or joins. So we can join these two tables in 3 ways, using subqueries, using set operators, and using joins. I'll explain all of them one by one. So, did you understand so far? Anita, Dikshita, Girish, Harshita, Lata, Rajdeep, Salman, Mani, Venkatesh?
Yes, sir.
Everyone,
Yes,
is
sir.
it clear so far?
Yes.
So this is what constraints are. So constraints are nothing but it is an extra validation assigned to the column or data. just to ensure to select the leader from the table, individual table, just for retrieving the data from multiple tables at a time. So I'll repeat, constraints are the rules given to validate the data. Data are nothing but the columns. So we have to validate the column, which means we have to choose the leader of the table from any one of the column. And if I want to choose any one column as a leader from individual table, there are some characteristics, there are some rules, and there are some like what we call it, parameters that should be considered. That is, if any column wants to become a leader from the parent table, that is for the primary key should be the combination of unique and not null constraint. I'll repeat, from the parent table, from the main table, if any column wants to become a leader, that column should have the possibilities of two constraints. That means it should be the combination of two constraints. The column should be passed or satisfied with unique constraint and also satisfied with not null constraint. So whichever column that is satisfied with both unique constraint and not null constraint, that column can become a leader of the table. So we have to check with all this one. So as of now, these from this employee table, the employee number is a leader. Or I can also consider this department number also. So you'll understand this. Sorry, I can consider this employee number as a leader, and this is the department number, which is used to join the other table with the help of foreign key and primary key. I'll explain this tomorrow. From tomorrow, you'll understand. So we'll see how to use this table. So we will be having same table, same employee table, same department table. I'll just show it once. So